Today I continue reading the book Teachings on Love by thầy Thích Nhất Hạnh for chapter 8, Living Mindfully Together. The practice of mindfulness is the practice of love. It is important to learn that the art of mindful living before entering any new relationship, especially the journey of mutual discovery that takes place in a marriage. If you do not come to know ourselves well, practicing looking deeply in order to discover all the flowers and all the garbage that are in you, not just those of your own making, but those you received from your ancestor and from society, your marriage will be difficult. When you enter a relationship, you feel excitement, enthusiasm, and the willingness to explore, but you may not really understand yourself or the other person very well yet. Living together 24 hours a day, you see, hear, and experience many things you have not seen or imagined before. When you fell in love, you constructed a beautiful image that you protected onto your partner, and now you are a little shocked as your illusions disappear and you discover the reality. Unless you know how to practice mindfulness together, looking deeply into yourself and your partner, you may find it difficult to sustain your love through this period. When someone says something unkind to us, for example, if we do not understand why he said it and we become irritated, a knot will be tied in us. The lack of understanding is the basis for every internal knot. It is difficult for our mind to accept that it has negative feelings like anger, fear, and regret, so it finds ways to bury these in remote areas of our consciousness. We create elaborate defense mechanisms to deny their existence, but these problematic feelings are always trying to surface. If we practice mindfulness, we can learn the skill of recognizing a knot the moment it is tying us and finding ways to untie it. Internal formations need our full attention as soon as they form, while they are still loosely tied, so that the work of untying them will be easy. Otherwise, they will grow tighter and stronger. The first step in dealing with unconscious internal formations is to try to bring them into awareness. We meditate, practicing conscious breathing to gain access to them. They might reveal themselves as images, feelings, thoughts, words, or actions. We may notice a feeling of anxiety and ask, why did I feel so uncomfortable when she said that? Or why do I keep doing that? Or why did I hate that character in the movie so much? When we live with another person, it is important to practice this way. To protect each other's happiness, we must learn to transform the internal formations we produce together as soon as they arise. One woman told me that 3 days after her wedding, she received several large internal formations from her husband, and she kept them to herself for 30 years. She was afraid that if she told him, there would be a fight. How can we be happy like that with no real communication? When we are not mindful in our daily life, we plant the seeds of suffering in the very person we love. We see that the other person, like us, has both flowers and garbage inside, and we accept this. Our practice is to water the flower in her and not to bring her more garbage. We avoid blaming and arguing. When we try to grow flowers, if the flowers do not grow well, we do not blame or argue with them. We blame ourselves for not taking care of them well. Our partner is a flower. If we take care of her well, she will grow beautifully. If we take care of her poorly, she will wither. To help a flower grow well, we must understand her nature. How much water does she need? How much sunshine? We look deeply into ourselves to see our true nature, and we look into the other person to see her nature. Everything has its suchness. That is how we recognize it. An orange has its suchness. That is why we don't confuse it with a lemon. At Plum Village, we cook with propane gas and we know its suchness. To meditate is to look deeply into the nature of things, including our own nature and the nature of the person in front of us. When we see the true nature of that person, we discover his or her difficulties, aspirations, suffering, and anxieties. We can sit down, hold your partner's hand, look deeply at him, and say, "Darling, do I understand you enough? Do I do I water your sense of joy? Please tell me how I can love you better. Do I water your sense of suffering?" If we say this from the bottom of our heart, he may begin to cry, and that is a good sign. It means the door of communication may be opening again. The expression long-term commitment helps us understand the word love. In the context of true love, commitment can only be long-term. I want to love you. I want to help you. I want to care for you. I want you to be happy. I want to work for happiness, but just for a few days. Does this make sense? The support of friends and family coming together weaves a kind of web. The strength of your feelings is only one of the strands of that web. Supported by many elements, the couple will be solid like a tree. To be strong, a tree sends more than one root deep into the soil. If a tree has only one root, it may be blown over by the wind. The life of a couple also needs to be supported by many elements: families, friends, ideals, practice, and Sangha. In Plum Village, every time we have a wedding ceremony, the whole community celebrates and brings support to the couple. Before two people marry, they should practice mindfulness together, and after becoming husband and wife, they should continue to practice the five awarenesses as a manifestation of their practice of mindfulness. We one, we are aware that all generations of our ancestors and all future generations are present in us. Two, we are aware of the expectations that our ancestors, our children, and their children have of us. Three, we are aware that our joy, peace, freedom, and harmony are the joy, peace, freedom, and harmony of our ancestors, our children, and their children. Four, we are aware that understanding is the very foundation of love. Five, we are aware that blaming and arguing never help us and only create a wider gap between us, that only understanding, trust, and love can help us change and grow. Happiness is not an individual matter. You should practice smiling at least once a day, not for yourself alone, but for her also. You should practice walking meditation, not just for her, but for you also. We are linked to many other people and beings. Each step we take, each smile we make has an effect on everyone around us. Your happiness is the happiness of so many people. Look at the oak tree. The oak tree seems to be happy. And the happiness of the oak tree is the happiness of the birds and all of us. We all benefit from its presence. Your presence and your happiness are also crucial for all of us. If you are happy, we are happy. If you are not happy, we will not be happy. You practice the five awarenesses not only for yourselves but for everyone. If you practice deeply the vows you made during your wedding ceremony, the whole world will profit. But to help you realize your work, your vows, you need a community, the Okti, the Sangha, and all of us. Make it moment an occasion to live deeply, happily, in peace. Each moment is a chance for us to make peace with the world, to make peace possible for the world, to make happiness possible for the world. The world needs our happiness. The practice of mindful living can be described as the practice of happiness, the practice of love. The capacity of being happy, the capacity of being loving is what we have to cultivate in our lives. Understanding is the very foundation of love, and looking deeply is the basic practice. All of us need to change for the better. When we marry, we make a promise to change ourselves and to help the other person change himself or herself so we can grow together, sharing the fruits and progress of practice. It is our responsibility to take care of each other. We are the gardener, the one who helps the flowers grow. If we understand, the flowers will grow beautifully. Living together is an art. Even with a lot of goodwill, you can still make the other person very unhappy. Goodwill is not enough. We need to know the art of making the other person happy. Art is the essence of life. Try to be artful in your speech and action. The substance of art is mindfulness. When you are mindful, you are more artful. This is something I have learned from the practice. That's it for today.